Welcome to the Board Wrap-Up Show. I'm your host, Sean Anderson for Ponca City Public Schools. This is our monthly chat with the superintendent of Ponca City Public Schools, Shelley Arrott. And Superintendent Arrott, every board meeting every month starts with the presentations and to some very special people.
Sure. We like to recognize our employees and our patrons who go above and beyond for service to this district, and many do. We can't recognize everybody, but we do select one a month. And I don't know if you know that, but we have a nominating committee, and a committee selects these recipients, and they're from all areas, different schools, support staff, directors, that kind of thing. Our certified employee of the month for December was Kara Holland. She is an instructional coach at Lincoln Elementary, and the instructional coach works with the leadership team and the teachers and how to improve instruction and analyze data and keep our students on a forward trajectory with their academic learning. And Kara's been with us for quite a while, and she does an excellent job. Our support employee of the month is Mr. Billy Haley. He is a TA at Roosevelt, and probably many people see him at Roosevelt. If you're traveling down Highland, he's also a crossing guard. So he comes to work early, and he's a crossing guard before hours, and then during the day he's a TA with our students, and then a crossing guard after hours. He's been with the district for a really long time, loyal and devoted and hardworking employee. Then our friend of education is someone who's not paid by the district but supports our schools, which we have many. And this month the award went to Lisa Isley. She is a volunteer at Woodlands. She does all kinds of volunteer work and sometimes subs for us at Woodlands too. So I guess she's a part-time at-will employee, but she sometimes subs at Woodlands as well.
It's always a great way to start out every board meeting here with Ponca City Public Schools. And then you moved into taking a recess for a public hearing for tribal leaders and Native American parents to discuss Native American participation in Native American programs. And there are some programs.
That's right. Chris Littlecook is our Title VI director. And he works with our Native American population, and we actually hire personnel to serve our Native American population in academics and cultural awareness. And each year this is required. District administration and Chris meet with the business leaders with the Poncan tribe, and we discuss our policies and educational practices and our relations with the Native American population, with the Poncan Indians. After all, Ponca City is named after the Ponca tribe, and we have a high percentage of students who are Native American in our districts, and we want to make sure that they are served in the best possible ways. Make sure culturally and academically, and participation in extracurricular activities. Something that's always interesting that Mr. Littlecook does at this meeting is he gives us the percentages of Native American students who participate in all of our extracurricular activities, and he breaks it down from sports to our instrumental vocal music to just our student council or business organizations, and we have a lot of participation. We have a good relationship with the Ponca tribal leaders and our Poncan students, and our staff goes above and beyond, and we continually grow and improve in that area. So this is a time for parents to give input on what they would like to see us improve on, or what they can do, what the tribe can do to support the educational mission of the district. So
very nice.
Always a good meeting.
Every month, students get excited because they get a chance to put on a presentation for the Board of Education meeting. Parents fill the room to watch the kids.
That's right.
Make a presentation. Tell us about this month.
We have more people for our awards and our student presentations than we do this day to the end of the board meeting. But it is a wonderful opportunity for our board members to be informed of some of the great things that are going out in our district. And it's also an opportunity for our students to showcase their organization or whatever they're there to speak on. It gives them an opportunity for public speaking and to meet the board members. And this month we had some students from Wildcat Academy. And as you're aware, Wildcat Academy is one of our alternative programs, and Wildcat Academy is not for behavior problems, and some people may think that is, but it's just for some reason or another, the students aren't growing academically and socially as well at the standard high school, and they fit in better at an alternative setting. We have a director, Carla Streeter, and then we have 4 teachers who support learning. Learning at Wildcat Academy is done through Edgenuity, which is a software program, and then with the certified staff at Wildcat Academy, they can do interventions and support with students and help them be successful. We've had a huge graduation rate increase with the establishment of Wildcat Academy and Teen Pep, but we had some students that came and gave their testimonials about what Wildcat Academy has meant to them.
Wow.
And many of these students just said it's their only way that they could have made it through school. It's given them an opportunity to have a high school degree, to be on track for a high school degree. They felt that they've been cared for and loved by the teaching staff.
Right.
And you've probably heard a lot of comments about our alternative programs. They're just top notch, and it was great to hear from the students. I mean, they are passionate about their learning setting. They know that they might not have been on track to graduate at Ponca City Senior High.
Yeah,
So,
Wildcat Academy,
great.
An incredible program, and it's so wonderful that those students had an opportunity to come and talk about what it means to them and what it has meant to them.
they were so passionate and so well versed. I was so impressed with the students, and then all of the teachers came too. They're very supportive. They're a tight-knit group, and all the teachers were there as well. 4 teachers and a director, and then we had 4 students present as well.
Well, there was a dropout report, and as Superintendent Arrott mentioned, those numbers are improving. How was that?
They are. Well, we discussed the annual dropout report, and sometimes those numbers are deceiving. We have to report to the state our students who do not finish school or who drop out of school. And something that's hard to track is if a student leaves the state and the state doesn't request their records, they may be in school in another state or they may be homeschooled, but it counts against us on our dropout rate. So those numbers are decreasing, and in the State Department website, there's some updated numbers. The state average as far as dropout rate is 3%. And just to give you a feel of how Ponca City stacks up against the state average, we are at 1.1%.
Wow.
Compared to 3.0, and I attribute that a lot to our alternative programs and some graduation tracking practices that we've implemented at the high school. Our counselors have a portion of the alphabet, and they stay with those students through their freshman year, through their senior year, which gives them the opportunity to build a relationship with those students and understand where they are in the progression of graduation. And just to give you some information in regard to surrounding schools, the state average again is 3.0. Our sister school, and as far as size and demographics, happens to be Sand Springs. This was from 1617 because this is the latest confirmed information in the State Department website. Sand Springs is at 3.9 versus our 1.1. Just to give you some other area school information, Tonkawa 1617 2.4, Blackwell 3.7, Newkirk 2.2, Bartlesville about our same size in the same class 2.3, Enid 2.1, and the closest school to us was Stillwater with 1.8.
Wow.
And again, Ponca City 1.1.
1.1%.
So, we've really done a lot to combat the dropout issue, and I'm really pleased with the practices and changes that we've made to ensure that our kids graduate from high school.
Do you expect other districts to call Ponca City Public Schools and say, okay,
well,
tell us what you're doing, because obviously it's working?
To be honest, as far as the counselors by alphabet, by section of the alphabet, we actually got that information to another from another 6A site, not one that's in our area, that was having a lot of success. But we have people come here all the time to tour and ask questions and try to model our alternative programs, as in Wildcat Academy and Teen Pep. So
fantastic. It certainly makes a difference. Site data reports. What does that mean?
This is something that we've been doing every month, and our site leaderships come in and give presentations to the board, and they talk about their academic progress, their current reality, where are their students on the learning continuum, and how are they going to make sure that the students grow and then perform on the state test to show their academic growth. And last Monday night, we had a Roosevelt presentation from Principal Rhonda Merrifield and the Trout presentation from Carla Fry. And both of these women have been in our district a long time. They're highly experienced. They're seasoned. They gave great reports. They were well versed.
Wonderful.
They shared the information accurately with the board. That was concise, clear. They both gave exceptional reports. Our instructional leadership in the district is top notch, and I'm proud to be associated with all of our instructional leaders.
Very good. Consent agenda and financial reports.
Well, and this is something we talk about every month. It is on the board regardless. This agenda item, our consent agenda, would be our contracts that are less than $10,000 or no charge to the district. Every vendor that we work with, we have to have a contract on file, and sometimes our consent agenda is several pages long with costly contracts, $10,000 or less, or free contracts. We don't enter into agreement unless it's been approved by the board. So those were just typical. Our financial reports, our budget is laid out line by line for our board every month, and they just approve that budget and expenditures, purchase orders, that kind of thing. Now, the week before the board meeting, of course, our board agenda is sometimes 200 pages long. If we went through that line by line the night of the board meeting,
right,
it could be an all-nighter. So
right.
The Tuesday before every board meeting, we go through every single contract and explain it to the board, so they're well aware in advance. So
several contracts over $10,000.
And this is pretty typical. We had our maintenance renewal agreements with Pinnacle, which works with our switching, our networking gear, our network access. It's basically our agreement to serve, and these items are under warranty. It's pretty costly, obviously over $10,000, but this morning, today's the 17th of December, we came in, and I usually get here at 6:30 every morning, and there was no internet. So you can imagine if in a world where you function with the internet, with our one-to-one initiative, our instructional software, it's critical that our network and internet is maintained and everything's in proper working order. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of moving pieces there. So we would be debilitated if something were to go wrong. So
absolutely,
that's something that's necessary. It's a necessary thing that we need to take care of. Another contract with Alice, and I think we've talked about this before. This is our active shooter training. We had some of our people within the district become trainer of trainers with Alice, and Alice is an acronym for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. And we signed a contract for e-learning support for Alice training.
Okay.
After the first of the year, we will begin training our employees and our students on the Alice method. Now, as you can imagine, with nearly 800 employees, we have turnover year after year after year.
Right.
We have new students come in, so we maintained an agreement with e-learning. Once they're trained, we'll do a physical training every year, and then this is just kind of like a refresher course, online refresher.
Yeah.
So we had that contract, and then this one's an interesting one. We had a contract with Custom Mechanical Equipment, because on our press box at Solon Stadium, a lot of people ask me about this. Why doesn't it say Ponca City Wildcats across the top? It is, we are going to contract for a powder coated sign with halo lighting behind it to go across the top of the press box.
Right.
And it will say Solon Stadium, home of the Ponca City Wildcats, and we'll have
fantastic.
one of our logos. And so
Wow.
it's a local company, and we are excited to get that started. Then we have an agreement with over $10,000 with Unique Travel and Tours for our Pohai Corral St. Louis tour. Every other year, our corral takes a tour and they do some performances. This is not a cost to the district. They do fundraising to pay for that, but our board still has to approve those contracts.
In fact, they were recently out singing Christmas carols, raising money.
I know their concert was last Thursday night,
Right.
and it was grades 6 through 12. Amazing. We have such amazing instrumental and vocal
the talent
programs. It's unreal.
it is.
And when those the concert was at West Middle School last Thursday, and when they are going to be able to get into the concert hall, this community is going to be stunned at the beauty of their performances and the extreme talent displayed by all our vocal and instrumental music students. And our conductors are top notch too. So.
It is really something special. There's a concentration of talent in Ponca City Public Schools. There's no doubt about that. Amendment in negotiated agreement. What does that mean?
At the beginning of the year, we negotiate with our bargaining unit, which are our certified teachers. We don't bargain with administrators, and we don't bargain with our support, but we follow suit on our certified negotiated agreement. And if you'll remember last time, we talked about changing the policy on our vacation, that our policy writers deemed that we could not carry over vacation into the next fiscal year because it could violate the state's prohibition of gifting. So we have in our negotiated agreement with our teachers, the most sick leave that you can have is 180 days of sick leave. It's legal for sick leave to be cumulative. Our teachers get 10 days a year. They work 10 months, so they get 10 days a year, which are cumulative. Our 12-month people get 12 days a year because they're working 12 months, and those are cumulative. And the maximum that can be accumulated just in regular sick leave, not sick leave bank, happens to be 180 days. So if someone has 180 days of sick leave, they've been with the district or in an Oklahoma school for many, many years, and they do not take a lot of leave. And one of the provisions in our negotiated agreement is that we will pay up to 10 days for any days they have. We buy back over 180 days, up to 10. And that amount had been $10. It's basically minimal. So in other words, if you had over 180 days of sick leave, we would buy back 10 of those from you at the end of the year at $10 a day. So minimal, $100 less the taxes. So in an effort to show goodwill and to recognize those people who have been here for a long time and who are consistently at work, and I realize people have catastrophic illnesses. That's the benefit. That's why we have sick leave. But we're going to raise that rate to $30 a day rather than $10 a day. So last year we had 5 teachers that got the full amount, that only 5 teachers in the district that we bought back 10 days. So it would be $100 this year. Those teachers that will qualify would get up to $300, so $30 a day for 10 days. And then we follow suit with our support and administrators. So
very nice. Well, here we are at the winter break for Ponca City Public Schools.
It is.
And, by the time you're watching this, winter break has started and everyone returns on January 3rd.
That is correct. Now, 12-month support and administrators will return on January 2nd. So this office, we are in the administration office taping this.
Right.
We will open on January 2nd. Today's the 17th. We have 2 days of students, Monday and Tuesday. And then for the first time in a really long time, we have a teacher work day. When we think about the needs of the teachers and what they need at the end of the semester, as far as calculating semester grades,
Right.
getting grades posted in our virtual grade book, it takes a lot of time. And we've talked about this before. We pride ourselves on our professional development.
Sure.
And about the only time we can do that is when we don't have students. But the 19th is going to be a true work day for our teachers. No staff meetings, no anything. So they can get in their rooms and work, do whatever they need to work. There are no students on Wednesday, and then this office will stay open until Friday at noon. So we'll close at noon on Friday and slide right into the winter break that we're all looking forward to.
Oh, I bet. I bet. January, upcoming January is Board Appreciation Month, and the board members, Ponca City Public Schools, devote an incredible amount of their personal time to serving the Board of Education. And, and they do it, they don't complain about it, they love it, and it is a job. It really is.
It is a full-time job, and I tell you what, I can't stress enough how much time our board members put in. Being on the Board of Education is a 5-year commitment, and like I said, we'll have a board meeting, and then the day after the board meeting, we begin on the next agenda. With a district this size, it takes a lot of time and a lot of commitment. Our board members are involved in either a personnel committee, a finance committee, or a curriculum committee, because so that we don't have a quorum and are in violation of the Open Meetings Act. In our committees, we can only have 2 board members at a time. We have a 5-member board, and these board members study the documents ahead. They have questions prepared for us. Our budget could be 300 or 400 pages of line items a month, and they review those line items. They spend a lot of time preparing. So what the community may see on television of a board meeting or in a video of our board meeting is just the final stamp on the board meeting. There's a lot of prep work that goes in between, and I will tell you, all 5 of our board members are men and women who care about the students of this district and the patrons of this district and the employees of this district. They go above and beyond.
January, Board Appreciation Month, and that's going to do it for this edition of the Board Wrap-Up Show. Our monthly visit with Superintendent of Ponca City Public Schools, Shelley Arrott. If you've ever watched one of those board meetings and sat there and asked yourself, well, what's that all about, or what does that mean, or what are they doing, or this show, the Board Wrap-Up Show, is your opportunity to get the behind the scenes and the details, line by line, about exactly what happened at the board meeting. So we appreciate you watching. Until next time, for Superintendent Arrott, I'm Sean Anderson, your host. Thank you for watching.